Hello and welcome to Future Insights, where we discuss all things medical practice growth. Now, today I've got something very interesting for you that I think you're really going to enjoy. Because, as you may well know, it's no secret now, but day by day, the internet becomes a more integral part of our lives, and the way we communicate and the way we do business, the internet seems to have more of a part to play than ever before, which is good news because you've got someone on your side who has been with internet marketing for over a decade and worked in several different markets, including health, finance, business opportunity, sport, and I basically know what will make a marketing campaign work and what won't at this point. And saying that, there's a handful of things that have to be included in any marketing campaign, in my experience, if it's going to have any chance of being profitable and sustainable long term. So we're going to go over a few of them things, and we're going to equip you, free of charge as always, with everything you'll potentially need if you are going to thrive online and build up stable and consistent income using online platforms. Okay, so the first thing we need to look at is, well, how do you generate leads? So naturally, you go to a landing page or a website. Most people have a website, but the question is your website optimized for conversions? So what do you mean by this? Do you have your phone number on the page? The images you're using are believable, are they authentic? Do you have multiple call to actions available for people to take action to want to work with you? If you're trying to drive people through your sales funnel, are you telling them what to do next? Because that's important. You can't just assume that people will just see it and naturally do what they need to do. You always have to be leading them to the end result that you want. If you're going to be using search engine marketing such as Google or Bing, is it compliant with those search engine sites? Because if not, you will rank properly or you'll be de-ranked and you're missing out on a lot of traffic that you potentially getting for free, technically, even though there's a lot of work that goes into it to make it free, but that's a story for a different lesson. But basically, long story short, you need to have it optimized for Google, so Google can then rank you in a strong position and allow you to generate a steady flow of traffic that you can potentially convert into leads and sales. Another aspect that's important is the optimization for mobile. A lot of people use mobile. That's another thing that's become more and more frequent as time's gone on. There was a period where desktop was potentially the go-to way, but slowly more people have mobiles, and with the capabilities of mobiles becoming more powerful, they can load pages and process the information a lot faster and better. So is your website optimized for mobiles? It's a very important step. If it's not, then you, like I said, you miss out on a lot of traffic. Is it secure? You have your security certificate to it acts as maybe an extra layer of credibility for your site itself. Also, if you don't have it, sometimes you trigger a warning from the web browser itself to say this site doesn't have it and potentially seems unsafe. And that alone can put a lot of people off, so you could just lose a lot of traffic right off the bat if you don't have that. So it's important to have the security certificate available. So sticking with Google, is it optimized to work alongside Google? I know you said it needs to be compliant. There's certain things that you can't put on the page. Obviously, the usual stuff, violence, etc. But we don't have that problem anyway. But it's just something that needs to be done. But on top of that, there's a lot of things like tags. So the tags that you have in the titles, are they compliant with the keywords that you want to rank for? Because the more if you're doing keyword ranking, you need to have these keywords sprinkled throughout your site, in tags, in each individual page, in blog posts, everywhere that's going to be in your site. You need to have them carefully sprinkled in, not too heavily. And I'll talk about it in great detail in another video, because that's another video in itself, because it's so detailed what you have to do. But do you have a Google listing, my business listing? So Google local and things like that just show up with the map, the contact information, the opening hours, and then these are all things that you need to look at. Reviews, are you getting good reviews? So getting reviews for one, the engagement helps you rank better, but more importantly, the good, healthy reviews that help enhance your reputation. So naturally, we have what's called social proof, and just human nature. We make decisions based on the influence of other people. And a good example of this, if you've never seen a game show of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, well, one of your options is phone a friend, which you can actually call someone and ask them if they know the answer. You can do a 50-50 where 2 of the 4 answers are removed, so you have maybe a 50-50 chance of getting it right. And the last option is ask the audience, where the audience is basically involved and they answer the question and show you the results. And naturally, you go with people who have the highest percentage. So, for example, if you see 67%, the people who said answer C, then more often than not, they pick answer C, see if you're right or wrong. So, social proof is very powerful, and the reviews that you get and what people are saying about your business is also very, very important. Also, you need to make sure you're actually engaging with these people as well. So when you are getting reviews, how are you managing the situation? Are you responding back to any negative ones to say, oh, no, sorry for your experience, and trying to offer some sort of peace offering to kind of make it better if you can. Sometimes it's not always possible, but it's always worth a try. In some cases, it can humanize you in the eyes of other people who may see it. We all get bad reviews, but I think the owners who are more attentive and make a more conscious effort to kind of offer a better service, I think future patients and clients can appreciate that a lot more. So that's the aspect on the organic side. But now we're moving into the paid side. So if you are taking advantage of the online Google ads, are you doing campaigns? What are your ROIs? Are you doing a lot of retargeting? Retargeting is very important because you can't always get them the first go. So we need to be able to, if they've shown an interest by clicking on the ad, then maybe we can get them in other places. So that's why retargeting is very powerful. And then obviously, then we run to the more social side. Social side is not essential. I wouldn't say the fan page and stuff like that's absolutely necessary. If I'm being completely honest, I've worked with a lot of companies without social and just maybe use more on the paid side and still see fantastic results. But if you are going to take time to do a fan page that people can like, you can post content on there. Is your business profile optimized for that across all the platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube? Are they all congruent? Are they all conveying the same message? Do they all have a similar or same handle? Because that's important. It's part of the branding. So you want to make sure you are using that. And obviously the frequency and how much you actually update the actual site itself is very important. You need to be doing it consistently on a day-to-day basis to keep it engaged, and obviously it looks better in the prospect's eyes to see you actively manage it. There's huge gaps, so it's a long time since you posted. Sometimes I can put a lot of prospects off and they can do more damage than not having a fan page at all. So just a few things to bear in mind. Another aspect that we want to look at as well is the email side. I said email is probably one of the most utilized messaging services in the world. Can't remember what the number is, but at one point it was over 1.5 billion emails sent per day. So I can imagine that there's a lot higher now, but just to give you an idea of how big it is and how you should be using it to really try to do follow up and kind of keep conveying your message long after the person's opted in. A lot of people say email's dead, but it's not true. Email's thriving better than ever. More people have access to email than ever before, and more people are utilizing it. You just need to be more creative in how you use email, and how you get people's attention. That's all it is. Obviously, a newsletter always helps. It's a summation of maybe what's gone on through the week or through the month. It can be paid, it can be free. You can offer promotions, interesting news, or things like that. Things that people would want to know about if they had a chance. That should all be included. Now, the next thing is very, very important, especially if you use paid traffic, and that's the tracking solution that you've got. And there's loads of tracking solutions you can use. Obviously, Google Analytics is probably one of the easiest and best ones to go with, because that will just, if you set it up properly, it will track where your leads are coming from, also where you track it coming from, and then obviously track which ones turn into conversions, into leads, and then sales, which is very important, because if you know where they're coming from, you can focus more on your budget, and you can focus more on your budget on trying to get more of these people into your funnel, because they're proving that they are where the money's at. Same with keyword ranking, tracking, when do the same thing. Which keywords specifically are driving the traffic to your page that are causing the conversions. And obviously, then after that, it's more of a case of measuring metrics. So, how many clicks do you need to get a call? How many calls do you need to make a new client? And then obviously, how long is your average client stay with you? So how long, when you get patient and you do business with them for the first time, how long does the relationship last for on average? So for me, for example, the average is 3 years. So I know I can, whatever the value of the customer is for the first year, I can times that by 3, and that is the average value I can expect to make on each patient or customer that I work with. So you want to do the same. And then obviously you want to work out how much you pay for, on average, to make each acquisition, because then you can actually budget and work out how you can actually get it out cheaper. You know that you can spend this much to acquire a customer or client and be able to make this much profit on the back end. And it just allows you to systemize your business a bit more in the way of, like I said, building out a steady flow of consistent leads and sales that then ultimately will help your business grow from a 6-figure business to a 7-figure business and put you ahead of the competition, because a lot of them don't really do that. There's just kind of left to chance, which is good news for us. So these are a lot of things that you would think of when you approach marketing and advertising, especially in an online space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go on for too long, because there is a lot. I could be here all day. I could turn this into a 3-hour presentation in one, but I try to chunk it up, make it a bite size, so you can take it, implement it in your own business immediately, and start seeing results. So if we go over, like we discussed, if these are all important things that need to be included and thought about if you are going to be successful in the online marketing space, based on everything I've done across these different industries. It's no different. These have all been necessary to make this work. If you need help implementing these strategies, as always, feel free to go to the website and apply for a strategy session. We'll do a diagnosis of your business, see where you're really at, and see if you are, see if we can actually help you, see if you'll be a good fit for us. We'd be a good fit for you. And like I said, we can help you realize your goals that you're trying to achieve. So like I said, if you're a 6-figure business now and you're trying to break the 7-figure mark, obviously we can help you potentially with that. So don't forget to like, subscribe, before. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.